Let's talk self-help movement. Let's talk spiritual bypassing. Let's talk making something more positive than what it is. Now, I'm all for shifting our states. Tony Robbins, Anthony Robbins, if you know him, if you're familiar with him, he was one of those individuals that somewhat pioneered what the self-help industry is today, what the personal growth and personal development industry is today. And some of what he teaches so much, and his skills run so deep, and he is a profound teacher. He advocates this willingness to shift our states, and one of the best ways to shift our states from an undesirable state of being to a desirable state of being is through physical movement. So literally, if you can shift your physiology, you can change the way you feel about yourself, the way you feel about life, a set of circumstances, etc. So for example, if you're at home and you have been on hold with the water department or the telephone department for 2.5, 3 hours, and they're shutting off your power, they're shutting off your water, they're shutting off your electricity, your telephone, and there's nothing that you can do about it. And it's frustrating because you work from home, you're an entrepreneur or a business owner from home, and you're just really, really struggling. Or you're in the car and you're massively frustrated and you're in a traffic jam and you've got an important meeting to go to that could yield you $1 million. This is a business partnership or deal that's just about to go through and you cannot be late. And all of a sudden you start receiving this tension in your body. So all the stress hormones, the cortisol is being released through your body and you're just not feeling good. Your mind is racing, you're starting to feel anxiousness or anxiety and stress and so forth. And so what we can do is we can shift our state. Now, one of the ways that we would shift our state, maybe being in the car, you would start singing, you would start dancing, you would start moving your body and moving your hips, you would start changing your thoughts. If you're at home, maybe you'll put the phone on speaker and you'll jump up and down and you just start changing what you're feeling and what you're experiencing. Now, that is a powerful tool and it's a powerful action to take. But I have a question for us. I've been thinking a lot about this. What are we doing? What's happening in between the space of feeling the undesirable feeling or emotion, being immersed in the undesirable state, to then shifting to the desirable state? Because no doubt, if you lined up 1,000 people and you asked them, would you prefer to largely be happy or would you prefer to largely be sad? I think that 1,000 out of 1,000, unless there's a pathology there and the individual is going to put their hand up and say, I want to be happy. So we have this idea as humans, in the human experience, the human condition, that we have desirable states of being. We have preferences about how we want to feel and what we want to experience in the world. And there's nothing wrong with that. However, every experience has something to teach us. We can grow from every experience. And if there's something to learn in every experience and we bypass it or we shift the wisdom or the lesson or the teaching of that experience too quickly without recognizing, realizing, or adapting to what it actually is and what it can teach us, are we not just going to be on repeat? Let that sit for a moment. I'm definitely not saying do not shift your state. Shift your state, but can we begin to shift our state with a deeper awareness? I think it begins with literally just shifting your state, learning, practicing, training your body, training your physiology, training your mind, training your emotions to be able to be in greater mastery of self. So if you're feeling really disheartened, if you've just had a fight with your partner, if they've called you names, if they've said things that have really hurt you, I'm not suggesting that you sit with that forever and ever and you hold on to that and you latch onto that. What I am suggesting is that perhaps at the beginning, as you're on this awareness journey, as we are all on this awareness building journey, that we move our bodies, that we literally jump and we do maybe a set of 50 burpees, we go for a walk, we go for a run, we have a big glass of water, we change our state through the physical, through some momentum, physical momentum and movement in the world. And then as we become accustomed to that and that becomes familiar, we want to be careful we don't keep doing that mindlessly, because what we're doing is we're bypassing and we're missing out on these very important lessons, these opportunities for growth, these opportunities to learn something about ourselves. And so whilst we can have a focused intent on shifting our state feeling differently, relating to that set of circumstances differently, seeing it through a new lens, a new perspective. And that's what the physiological movement does. That's what putting on some music and dancing and moving your body, it can create spaciousness in your body, spaciousness in your mind, and in spaciousness you can be more creative with how you choose to see something, how you choose to relate to a set of circumstances or an individual, or the words that they said or how they treated you. My concern is this, is that we change too quickly without gaining, without choosing to really grow in what that lessons, teaching, wisdom, opportunity, set of circumstances can provide us. And so I ask you, what are you doing in that space? Are you sitting long enough with that uncomfortable emotion so that you can gain some deeper perspective on why it's occurring consistently in your life? Or are you bypassing it too quick? Are you bypassing it so quickly that you're not able to really move on from it? So when we're having that disagreement, that argument, that painful interchange with our partners as an example, and maybe you're being overpowering in that conversation, or maybe you're being too passive in that conversation, and that disagreement or argument ends, and you move to immediately distract yourself, not consciously or deliberately, but just distract yourself because you don't want to feel the pain of what's unraveled. What if you sat with that for a moment? What if you observed your action and said, why am I being too passive? Why am I giving up my power? Why am I not able to express more cohesively what I'm really feeling? Why is my partner consistently behaving in an aggressive manner? Am I contributing to that? Am I choosing the right partner? Why are they being like that? What is happening here? Maybe it's less of a question of why, but more of what could I do to be different? How can I yield a different result? How can I be different in this situation to be able to feel differently and experience a different outcome? Now, the only way to be able to ask those questions is if we stay in the feelings that we're experiencing. Now, again, I'm not suggesting that you remain in this undesirable state. Shifting your state physiologically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually is absolutely necessary. But we live in a society, we live in a society that is of quick fixes, short-term gratification. And what I'm saying is, it's okay to be challenged. It's okay to be uncomfortable. Now, if we're speaking to masculine, feminine dynamics for a moment, one of the realms of healthy masculinity is we thrive on challenge. The masculine thrives in challenge, actually thrives in adversity and difficulty as well. And that's not so much an old paradigm per se. It's something that's somewhat innate within us. And so we get an opportunity to be in the challenge and learn and grow from the challenge. Just like fear and failure is feedback, challenge is feedback as well. And so if you're feeling fearful, if you're feeling disheartened, if you're feeling disconnected in the relationship that you're in the conversation that you're having, in life in general, in your activity, in your progress, in your service in the world, in the business that you're doing and being, and your friendships, and can you take a moment to just reflect and be introspective, be critically reflective, not critical of yourself, but vigilant of what you're experiencing, discerning of what you're choosing to be aware of, knowing at any time, if it gets too much, then you can deliberately distract yourself. Then you can move through a cyclical process of, I'm going to actually take some time out from thinking and feeling about this because I'm actually not going anywhere, I'm spinning in circles. So now I'm going to go jump in the ocean, now I'm going to go for a run, now I'm going to get a massage, now I'm going to go watch something funny on YouTube, now I'm going to spend time with my friends and be surrounded by people that love and care for me. So all I'm saying is here, beautiful people, is are we bypassing too quickly? Are we shifting our states a little too quick? And are we too avoidant? Could we sit in the challenge just a little bit longer? And when it gets too much, then we can deliberately distract ourselves. In my life, I've learned that to be a magnificent lesson. I distracted myself for so much, I avoided for so long, and it hurt me. And the moment I started facing all of me is the moment I felt more whole. Power and blessings to you. I'll speak to you soon.